After dropping their bags in the elegantly creaky room of Hotel de Minuit, the girls wasted no time stepping back into the cool, lavender-tinted air of Paris. The sun had barely dipped below the horizon, casting long golden shadows that stretched along the Seine. "We have exactly 3 hours. I need to finish my school paper," June declared, adjusting her scarf as they strolled across the Pont Alexander III. "Where are we headed?" "To Magic," Vivi said with a grin, snapping a selfie with the bridge's winged statues. "And maybe to Chanel if we pass it by accidentally on purpose." The Eiffel Tower rose before them like a dream, glittering, majestic, eternal. A crowd had gathered on the nearby lawns of Champ de Mars, some with wine and blankets, others with cameras poised. Just then, the tower erupted into a shower of lights, hundreds of tiny bulbs sparkling in a brilliant display that danced across its iron bones. Vivi squealed. June just smiled knowingly. Despite her usual protests, Vivi was in high spirits. She twirled through the Louvre's marbled halls, camera in hand, transforming the museum into her own personal runway. From the grandeur of the Arc de Triomphe to the Gothic beauty of Notre Dame Cathedral and the opulence of Palais Garnier, she posed like a seasoned influencer. Vivian struck a dramatic pose in front of the Mona Lisa, her head tilted with exaggerated seriousness. "She gets me," she declared with a sigh. "That look, pure judgment." June rolled her eyes affectionately and tugged them away from the crowd. "Come on, drama queen. We're going to the lesser-known crime exhibit, Stolen Art Through the Ages. It's actual history." Then the two besties slid into a plush pastel green booth at La Durée on Rue Royale, the kind of place that looked like it had been dipped in gold and buttercream. A tiered tray of macarons arrived moments later, pistachio, rose, lemon, chocolate, along with ornate teacups and a pot of jasmine tea. Vivi was already Instagramming her lavender macaron with a caption that read, "Sweet sins in Paris, #macaron madness, #too pretty to eat." Vivi beamed. "This place is a temple. I could live off macarons." As they sipped tea and enjoyed their macarons as jazz floated in from a nearby accordion player, Vivi flirted with the waiter. The waiter returned with their bill, a charming young man with sleeves rolled up and an accent just thick enough to be cinematic. He smiled as he collected the credit card. "Are you visiting Paris for long?" "Just a few days," June replied. "We're staying at Hotel de Minuit." The waiter froze for half a second, subtle, but enough for June to catch it. His smile faltered, replaced by a flicker of something unreadable. Then he leaned in, lowering his voice slightly. "Hotel de Minuit?" he repeated, cautious. "Odd choice for young ladies travelers. Did you not know the stories?" Vivi raised a brow. "Stories?" He gave a half-shrug. "Ah, perhaps it is nothing. Just people say strange things happen there. Some say haunted. Some say cursed. Always something missing." June's eyes narrowed in thought. "I read reviews online, but there wasn't anything too strange mentioned. Just average guest complaints." "Still," she hesitated, glancing at Vivi. "I did feel a little off when we checked in, like the staff was too quiet, too polished." The waiter nodded. "Locals avoid it. The old ones speak of ghosts. The newer ones say it's just bad luck." Vivi laughed a little too loud, brushing it off with her usual glamour. "Well, ghosts or not, I'm not losing sleep over creaky floorboards and flickering lights." But under the table, June's fingers tightened around her napkin. The waiter handed them back the card. "If anything happens, you didn't hear it from me." He walked off, leaving the two girls sitting in silence for a heartbeat longer than normal. Outside, the bells of a nearby church chimed softly, but the night suddenly felt colder than before. That night, before returning to the hotel, Each girl had a quiet moment alone with the city. Their laughter mellowed by full stomachs and the hush of a city slipping into sleep. Paris shimmered under dim amber street lamps, the occasional motorbike humming past, the air cool and clean after a light evening rain. Vivi sat on a cafe terrace, staring at the Eiffel Tower's first sparkle of the hour. In her purse, she fingered the edge of her mother's earrings. A memory bubbled up. Her mother, face soft in the mirror light, placing those very earrings on a young Vivi before vanishing on a one rainy day. Vivian Cross had always known how to make a scene, not just in the glamorous way she posed for cameras or the way she made entrances in designer heels, but in how she demanded space in a world that had often made her feel invisible. To the outside world, she was enviable, a fashionable, sharp-tongued influencer with a passport full of stamps and a closet worthy of envy. But what people didn't see was the silent echo she carried inside, a hollow, unanswered question left behind when her mother vanished from her life. Margot Cross's absence didn't come with explanations or closure. She was simply gone. One day a doting figure brushing little Vivi's hair before bed, the next a memory behind locked doors and whispered phone calls. Vivi was too young to understand then, and as she grew older, no one offered her the truth. Not even her father, especially not him. Instead, she was handed credit cards and chauffeurs, access and indulgence. Her father buried his guilt in work and luxury, as if wealth could pad the ache of a girl who didn't feel wanted. His love was practical, distant, and cold. And Vivian, bright, emotional, and hungry for affection, rebelled in the only ways she knew how. She became stubborn. She became loud. She became beautifully difficult. The world called her spoiled, dramatic, even shallow. But none of them saw the girl who used glitter as armor, whose fierce confidence was built on shaky ground. Her insistence on control, her temper, her need to be seen, all of it stemmed from that lingering insecurity. If even her mother could leave, what made her lovable at all? Only June, her best friend, ever seemed to understand the real her. The version who cried at perfume ads and couldn't sleep unless she texted someone good night. With June, she didn't have to pretend. She loved her as her real sister. And she didn't have to shine to be worthy. June Abbott was born curious, the kind of girl who dismantled her baby monitor just to figure out how it worked. Books were her first language, mystery novels her favorite fuel. While other kids played house, June built crime scenes out of cereal boxes and plastic figurines. Her obsession with crime-solving wasn't morbid, it was about justice, about truth. About the belief that even in a messy world, things could be made right. Meeting Vivi had been an accidental gift. Vivi pulled her into a world of fashion and fearlessness, of trying things just because they sparkled. She made her feel like she didn't have to be anyone else, just June, messy notebook and all. She knew Vivi's pain, so she thought she would protect Vivi as her own sister. And she had always been stood up for Vivi since back in school days. The girls walked shoulder to shoulder, arms occasionally bumping. Vivi's heels clacked lightly, her scarf flapped in the breeze, and June had her hands shoved into the oversized sleeves of her coat, her notebook tucked away for once. "I hate this part," Vivi murmured suddenly. June looked over. "The walk back." "No, the part after the fun. When you remember that your real life is waiting for you at the end of the trip." Vivi sighed and looked away, blinking quickly. "My dad didn't even say goodbye. I left from the driveway. The driver handed me my passport and said bon voyage, Miss Cross. Like I was off to boarding school again." June's smile faltered. "Vivi, I know I sound spoiled," Vivi said, brushing her hair behind her ear. "And I am. Like aggressively. But I'd trade half my designer closet just to have someone who actually shows up." You know, just once. The laughter from their makeshift sidewalk race faded as they slowed near the entrance of Hotel Diminuit, their cheeks flushed from the cold and the run. The tall, shuttered facade of the hotel loomed over them, but in that moment, none of them were afraid. They paused just outside the doors, catching their breath, the Eiffel Tower's glow still faintly visible in the distance behind them, just the tip of its golden crown. Vivi leaned against the wall, clutching her heels in one hand. "Okay," she panted. "New rule. No running in Paris unless someone's chasing you with a baguette." Vivi continued heartily. "June, thanks for joining the trip for me. What would I do without you?" June laughed, nudging her. "I feel like we need to freeze this moment. Bottle it. Save it for when life gets harder." They stood under the dim glow of the hotel awning. Then a soft creak echoed from somewhere above. A shutter, or a floorboard, or maybe just the wind. They glanced up. June frowned. "Did you hear that?" Vivi shivered. "Okay, spooky building is officially ruining my emotional moment." June bumped her shoulder playfully. "I saw your face when that waiter said haunted. You almost dropped your dessert spoon." "I was reacting to the calorie count," Vivi sniffed. "Besides, if a ghost wants fashion advice, I'm happy to consult." June hoisted her bag. "Honestly, the fact that locals avoid this place and we couldn't find anything online about it, that's what creeps me out." "Let's just keep the lights on tonight," Vivi murmured, her tone flippant but her fingers twitching ever so slightly as she reached for the door. June didn't say anything. She just stared at the upper windows, her mind already cataloging the noise, the flicker she thought she saw before, the nervous energy in the air. The mystery hadn't begun yet, not officially. But the city was listening, and the hotel was waiting.